The biggest problem with his legal team, and I do defense work, I mean, I get it. But the biggest problem is not acknowledging who Roy Oliver is. The reality is that this isn't an officer who had his first run in and it was a bad run in. That's not what it was. Oliver never should have been on the streets. Jordan should be here. We shouldn't be having this conversation. But we had too many people dropping the ball and not stepping up to the plate. Because the reality is that when he was off duty 2 weeks prior, he decided to pull a gun in the middle of a traffic accident. That's a problem. If something had been done then maybe he wouldn't have been around 2 weeks later to shoot Jordan. It's been, if there had been something done more than just a simple suspension, when he decided he was going to curse at a jury and walk out in the middle of his duties as an officer, as he's supposed to be testifying, then maybe he never would have pulled that gun on those two ladies. Maybe he never would have pulled the gun on Jordan. So the problem is that everybody wants to pass the buck. Now the problem is that the jury gave down this sentence, so we don't know what's going to happen to policing. How about accepting some responsibility for what your client did and what we knew was leading up to this? And the people that did not take responsibility, such as Balk Springs, they didn't take responsibility. And you can't now say, you know what, he then lied. Let's not forget he lied. He lied initially to try to save his hiney, and therefore, but for the body cameras, he still would have been on the force. I don't know what would have happened, but for those body cameras making it clear that he was lying then, and then Balk Springs says, well, we'll wash our hands. Does somebody have to die before we get rid of a bad officer? That should not be the standard, and that is the problem.